Hi, I'm Tamika Hanna.
And I'm Shahid Mustafa.
And we are
Black English Vernacular on 101.5 KTAL-FM every Monday from 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. So, very, very, very excited to have this conversation today with our guest, Logan. Logan, would you like to introduce yourself? Can you hear us?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Logan. I'm here in Texas, Menard, Texas, and just ended a almost 10-year farmsteading situation, which I've passed on partially to you.
You did pass on quite a bit, actually, and I'm appreciative. So I don't even know where to start. We might have a mutual friend, or we might have both have friends who are mutually friends. But
I think that's it.
I think we're a couple friends removed. But
Yeah.
now, now we're friends. So that works out. So I think, wow, this, when was this? Maybe it may have been December when I got a message from a friend of mine who wanted to know if I would be interested in receiving an offering of reparations from a farmer of some livestock. And not knowing even where it was, I was like, yep, I don't know where it is, but I definitely felt called to accept that offer, or at least look into it. And so as it turned out, it was a mere 7 hours away in Menard, Texas. But that, could have been further. So I've always, and we've never had this conversation, but for me, it was an easy accept. And I wanted to just ask you a little bit about, what inspired you to make that offer, and how long had you been thinking about that?
Well, I think I've been thinking about it ever since me and my family decided to move to another country, and the idea of reparations and things like land back had entered the orbit of my awareness. I guess a number of years ago, maybe even at the beginning of starting this farmstead. On family land that goes back 125 years. And my spouse and I, being very grateful for the opportunity to live on the land, but also having this discomfort around, how did the land get to where it is, as far as like ownership and that sort of thing. And we never had any capital or anything. We just had the land. And so we tried with we had to find opportunities to open it up to others as much as possible, especially to marginalized groups. So we started a hip camp, which is kind of like the Airbnb of camping. And we specifically worded our description in a way that would let queer folks and people of color and other marginalized groups know that this is a place in rural Texas where you could come and be safe, camp. And it worked because we had a disproportionate number of queer campers, solo Black female campers, people like that, who specifically said, yeah, we feel safe here. Like, okay, we're doing something, within our power. And then when we decided to move, the land, I don't own the land. My mom does, so I can't make a decision on the land itself. But I thought, what do I have power over? I have power over our animals, our livestock. And that was something that I could give as reparations. And I just had to find out who wanted them.
Nice. How long did it take for me to respond? How long did it take between the time you put out the call and like somebody actually responded?
I don't remember. When I first had the idea, I was like, okay, how do I find someone? I mean, there's no I hate to
Yeah,
say it,
there's
there's
no
no black people
reparations.
around here.
There's no
There's
reparations queue. Like put it on
no
reparations.com.
reparations.org.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe there should be, y'all.
Yeah, maybe there should be, honestly.
Reparations.org.
But
Yes.
I have a friend who got their farm through reparations. So I was like, okay, I'll start with them. That'll be a good
Really?
place, a good resource. Yes.
nice.
And through them, it's
Where's that friend located?
they they're in Virginia,
Wow. Okay.
and we
Wow.
met through the. How did we meet? Man, Queer Farmer Network? No, I can't even remember. But we became pen pals a long time ago, years ago, and then they were moving back to Virginia from California, and they were like, "Hey, can I stay on your place, at your place for a few days?" And we're like, "Yeah, totally." So we got to know each other in person, and then have kept in touch, and yeah, they ended up getting a farm through reparations, and so I knew that they would probably have an idea of where to start.
Wow. So this is happening. It's really interesting because when people talk about reparations, there's first the conversation of like people not even understanding the concept or the
Mm-hmm.
why. I say that. I mean, as I explain more and more, I explain it. It's not that people don't understand it. They just feel like it's not something that they can. I don't even know. I don't know what it is. That maybe they feel like they can't give, or maybe they feel like it's not. There's like some unfairness around it because
Mm-hmm.
that's the first thing you hear. Well, I didn't have anything to do with that, and it's like, oh, you know what
Mm-hmm.
generational wealth is. You might have something to do with it, and there's definitely a lot of privilege associated with it. But just the act of, the conversation has been around financial payment,
Yeah.
and mainly from the government. So I don't even know why people get all crazy, like they're gonna have something taken out of their, pockets. But there is this energy around it that makes it hard for people to understand. So the fact that
Mm-hmm.
there are people who do understand it, is really reaffirming for me, right? And who get it. I don't have to explain it, and I didn't come asking you like, hey, what are you doing with this stuff? you know, it was offered, and I felt compelled to accept the offer because I am a proponent of reparations, and yeah, there's no way I could not accept that offer, and it was, of course, it aligned with what I'm doing. If I wasn't farming, I wouldn't have started farming to take this livestock. I may have just to prove a point, but I didn't have to, and I'm appreciative of that. And I think it's important to have and share this conversation with the community so that people can better understand what is being discussed when we talk about reparations. It doesn't have to be in one form, but what it's addressing is something that I feel like needs to be addressed, and the conversation needs to be had. So I really appreciate you joining us on the show, and
Yeah.
and I appreciate your goats and your chickens and your turkeys, and they seem to appreciate me, at least. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they eat on time and mostly have shelter, and the goats have a new. We put a guardian dog in with the goats,
Nice.
who's doing really well. Like she's really like gentle with them, but alerts. She's alerted 3 times on the coyote,
Nice.
three different times so far.
Very nice.
And that seems to be enough because once the coyote's like, no point going over. I don't know because the coyote has been back, but I think we're just on its track to wherever it's going. And I think it just kind of has to pass through, but it's not.
It's on its round.
Yeah, it's on its round. And so maybe, it has deterred any closer engagement or encounter. So tell me, okay, so here's, so we came up with a time where I would come, and the first time was a visit, really, just to come and see whether or not this was something I could take on.
And that was in March, earlier this year.
Yeah,
March
that was
18th
March.
is when we
And it was great. You were very welcoming. You offered lodging at your cousin's house, which I'm starting to feel like this cousin doesn't exist, because every time I need to come to Menard, this house is available. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for your cousin and that offering. But it was a very interesting trip for me in a lot of ways, and it still like touches me. So the first time that I came, I brought my daughter and I brought my partner Tamika, and that was great. It was still a 7-hour trip. No matter what, every time I've come, it's been 7 hours. But but just we came in at night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was pretty late too.
It was late.
1:30 in the morning by the time we actually got there.
And I remember we got there and immediately we're like, stars.
Yeah.
We can see the stars. And so,
I mean, my daughter, commented on how comfortable she felt in the house and in that space.
Yeah, she said that it was such a sweet comment too. We were outside on a swing, and she gosh, I wish I could remember her exact words, but she was basically commenting on how this must feel like to be rich. And I was like, that's sweet, because she's at peace, and you could just tell that, like, just how she was swinging, and then she laid down on the swing.
Yeah,
it was just a really sweet time,
and it's a really modest house. It's not like a giant mansion or a plantation house or something like that. Fortunately,
for the listeners,
yeah, just so you know. So it was more. I think it was an energy. It was an energy. It was definitely that was in the space, and
this is a small town too. So
it is a small town. It's a very small town. They have a population of 2.5, 3 Black people when I'm there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, 1,200 people and about 2.5 Black people. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you met 2 of them, I think. Right?
I think I met the entire Black community when I was at the grocery store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tracy and some other guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was the other thing about being there, was I felt that as well. That sort of void, driving through Texas in the middle of the night through the oil country. And that place really should be named Deerfield, because we counted no less than 60 deer.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just looking to leap out. I'm like, yeah. And so I wanted to hear a little bit more about, like, did you grow up there? Did you grow up in Menard?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
No, I grew up in Odessa, in the real oil country.
Yeah.
In the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's That I'm thinking that's quite a change. So, well, you said that's your mom's land, so of course that's what brought you to Menard. How long have you been in Menard?
Yeah, it's my mom's now. It was her dad's before that, and his mom's before that, and her dad's before that. But we've been here 9 whole years.
And when did you start? Well, I'm guessing, did you know immediately that you wanted to have a farmstead, or is this, something?
Well, like immediately, like as an adult, or
Yeah. Or when you
when I was
got
born.
or when you got to Menard. When
No,
you got to the land.
yeah, we came to Menard for the. I mean, that's why we came here.
Mhm.
So my spouse and I have been together for 10.5 years, and we've been here 9 of them. And it was something we talked about as like an option. And I had always wanted to be a land worker. I'd grown up cattle ranching. I loved manual labor. I loved being outside. But at that time, I'm 40 years old, and when I was in college, the idea of being an agriculturalist was like pretty looked down upon. Like, why are you going to college then? You want to be a farmer? Like, what are you doing here?
Mm.
And my first spouse was kind of that opinion as well, and they were in the opera industry. Opera companies are exclusively in cities, so
Yeah.
um, it wasn't until Gear and I were together that I was like, well, maybe I can actually do this. He wanted to do it too, and I'd been a woofer
Okay.
in my early 20s, which reaffirmed my desires to be a farmer. And in Italy is where I learned everything I know about goats and making cheese. And um, so, yeah, we came here because the land was available to us to use and to live on. And otherwise, I don't think we would have just randomly chosen Menard.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting place. Like, having been there
Yeah.
now 3 times, I feel a little familiar with the town. Um, but you mentioned the word woofer.
hmm
And can you explain to people what that is?
Yeah, the acronym is Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms. And it's basically like a work exchange type program, and it's all over the world. Many countries have a WOOF program. And as the woofer, you travel to a host farm and you do a few hours of work a day in exchange for room and board and education, basically. Um, I got really lucky. I had, let's see, 3 amazing experiences. 3 out of 5 were amazing, and 4 was like pretty okay, and 1 was not great. But um, that really reignited that desire. And then Gear and I have been wolf hosts since we have been here. So we've also hosted many, many woofers over the years, probably around 100.
Wow. That's a lot. How long do people generally woof? Is there a agreement term, or is it just they come and
Yeah, you
yeah? How's that work?
you can like set, kind of your minimum or whatever. Some people don't care, it can be anything from a day to a year or more, whatever. You can kind of customize that. When we first started, we were like, yeah, whatever, come for whatever amount of time. And then pretty quickly realized, you got to train people to do stuff. So they need to
There you
be here
go.
for at least like
Yeah.
a month
Yeah.
or
I
it's
don't know
not
how
really
those
worth it.
1 day woofs work. I can
Yeah, I don't
imagine.
either.
I can imagine.
Maybe if
Yeah.
you've got like a garden plot to weed and you're just like weed the garden or
Mhm.
something, like some, very obvious task, but that didn't really work here. So, it's like people got to learn how to milk goats. That could take a while or
Yeah.
whatever. So, yeah, we ended up setting a month minimum.
That's cool.
It's similar to how when the you have the workshops. So if you Logan, if you follow Shahid on social media, or maybe you all had a conversation about how he has
hmm
regenerative agriculture workshops, and these are
hmm
4 to 6 week intensives where we'll go through composting, drip irrigation, watering, gosh, so many things, but just basically organic farming and teaching people how to work the land. And Shahid always says, like, after you all go through the intensive, then you could come back. But
Yeah,
but it's
fair.
that right there. Like, you'll know what to do at that point.
Yeah. And we
Yeah.
do have like community volunteer days where it's, pretty low intensive in terms of expertise. But you just still have to be very, very careful to explain to people very specifically what you would like them to do. And so,
Yes.
yeah, so a 1 day wolf is like, that day is just
Yeah.
going to be me making sure you don't pull out my carrots
Yeah.
Or use the wrong
while
type
we're
of
weeding. Yeah.
or use the wrong
or
tool to weed.
yeah. Or decide, because some people, they have better ideas, almost
Yes.
immediately. And
Yes.
then, there goes the drip line. And it's like, oh, okay.
And I've seen
Thanks.
this. I'm like, oh, let's go over and have a conversation.
So, wow. So you say your family has been in possession of that property for 125 years. So that would be 1900.
Yeah.
hmm
Was that a part of the Homestead Act?
No, actually, it was. So it was actually owned before my family had it by somebody else, and I think the exact year was, I may have misspoken. I think 1914 was when my great great grandparents bought it.
Oh,
And apparently, what happened was my great great grandfather came here on a fishing trip and loved it, bought the land, went back home to Fort Worth, and was like, "Hey, we're all moving to Menard." And my great grandmother was like 18 or 19, and I'm sure she was like, "What? Where?" And but she was one of the only ones that stayed. Actually, I think maybe one of her brothers stayed too. Ended up staying, and then yeah. So they it was just kind of a whim. It sounds like because he just really liked the place, liked the river here, and this house. This old, you saw the old farmhouse. It was here before they bought it, so it's even older than that.
wow. Well, that town has got some energy there. I'll say that. And and what I will say about it for me was I was very grateful to have the space that you offered, because I don't know where else I would have stayed outside of on your land. Because if I'm honest, that place just feels like a sundown town to me. and
Yeah.
um and yeah, just based on like some of the conversations that I've had with people, it was always, how long you staying? And I was just like,
hmm
okay, so it's obvious that like I don't live here just from me walking
Yeah.
in the door.
And I
Yeah.
was gonna ask you, when you mentioned like, or you were talking about the 3 times that you've been there, like how, like each time does it, like how do you feel? Does it get, well, of course you feel more comfortable, but is it, you said the energy, is it still kind of like, okay, I gotta go?
Oh yeah, I can't. Yeah, it is that I got to go, but it's not that. It's not that. For one, it's a small town, right? And so things close pretty early, and so it seems like a town you have to know. Like you have to know
Yeah.
the town a lot to be able to be there for any extended time. I don't know what industry outside of like maybe working on one of the oil rigs. But it used to be a railroad town, didn't it, Logan? Did they have a railroad?
There was a railroad until I think 1962.
Okay,
Yeah, the industry was wool and mohair for a long time.
really?
Yeah.
So
So
people
and there
raised.
isn't anything. Yeah.
Um, I'm interested. Are you looking? Are you all looking to still have or acquire land and getting to
Mm.
or being a part of agriculture or farming and starting another
Yeah.
farmstead?
Yeah, we're interested. We don't have the capital to buy land, so it's not something that we can just go and do. Um, if some opportunity happens, then yeah, we're interested. Um, but for now, we're going to be townies,
Okay.
All right.
which is going to be a big change.
Um, Also, you mentioned how the land where you're at right now, people can come there and camp. Uh, Queer folk, black people, marginalized people. Is that going to still be available?
I don't think so. I don't see how to do it with from afar and make it work
Yeah.
and just know that people can be safe without us here, so no, unfortunately, and that is like sad to sort of abandon that because it was really meaningful. But yeah, I mean, we're leaving. My mom's also going to be eventually moving to where we're going, and yeah, so it's not really, unfortunately, an option. But it's
Yeah.
been a good 9-year run.
Mm-hmm.
So does that land then, are you planning to keep that land in the family? Is that going to go into a trust or is it just,
That's my up to my mom, and
okay, got it.
she.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting.
I
Like,
don't think
yeah,
she's. I don't think she's 100%, sure what she's going to do. But I think unfortunately, she's leaning towards selling it because she also doesn't have, you know, a lot of money saved up, and
right.
it just kind of unfortunately makes the most sense to do that. And we're not necessarily planning on coming back to this
Mm-hmm.
country,
Yeah,
so
probably
Mm-hmm.
not.
uh,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there isn't really anyone else to pass it on to
got it.
in the family, anyway. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but that's
Wow.
outside of my control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet a lot of, people who did stay on the land just really appreciated having a space like especially traveling through Texas
Hmm.
to land safely. I know you mentioned even traveling being a
A woofer.
woofer in other countries, and I remember my mother every time I would travel out of a country would always comment like either come back because she knew I didn't want to come
Hmm.
back, and but
Hmm.
also just be safe, and she knew, and I always felt like traveling here. It's as a black woman, yeah, finding a safe space to
Yeah,
land is very
yeah,
real, and how many spaces I realized I didn't go to because of that. And
yeah,
so yeah, I definitely can understand how that can be, something people would of course wish that would be able to continue, but yeah, how it could be hard to let that go. But
yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So was your place mostly like on the way to somewhere for people or was it a destination?
It was mostly a destination,
Sweet.
actually.
Nice.
Yeah, and it became more and more so. We had a lot of repeat campers, and some of whom we became really good friends with over the years. One of them is actually moving with us, and we met
Oh wow.
from them camping here. Like that's how we met. Um, yeah, it's been great.
I actually have a question about I'm sure there's so many reasons why you're moving out of this country, which we could talk about for a very long
We don't have that
time.
kind of time. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But what about the climate? Because when we came over there the first time, which was in March, I don't know if it was earlier that month or maybe the month before, but over in Kerrville,
Mm,
there was, a massive flood. And so
hmm.
I'm interested in, and recently as well. within the
Yeah,
past.
just flooded
Mm-hmm.
past few days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So how are
yeah.
you feeling about that? And also, it makes me think about the animals now that the animals
hmm
are over here on dry land as
hmm
well. Like, how was that whole experience for you?
Well, I was like, man, Shahid, you got him just in time. I texted him and I was like, a picture of the river, and which was, you know, halfway up the pecan trees down there. And yeah, it was interesting for the first time to like have a flood and not have to like worry about all the animals. Just like, yeah, that 4th of July flood last year, which was the one that was so bad in Kerrville, was really bad here too. And it was crazy. Like, we were moving the goats in the canoe to get them to high ground. We were swimming the horses through the water. We were putting the chickens up in trees because so they wouldn't drown. I mean, it was pretty harrowing. And yeah, like knowing this was the second highest flood that just happened a few days ago, second to that one, and was just like, I don't have to worry about anything.
Mm.
Everybody, everybody's gone. Everybody's at
Everybody's,
Shahid's.
yeah, everybody's dry for sure.
Everybody's
We've had
dry,
some
maybe
rain
too
here,
dry
but
sometimes.
you know, they're not worried about it. They're like this.
Yeah,
We can handle this. Um,
yeah,
yeah, that part, like that whole goats in the canoe
yeah, yeah. Imagine
story.
that.
So were
Mm-hmm.
they cooperative? Did they see what was going on? It's like, yeah, I guess we better get in this canoe because I'm pretty sure they can't swim. I know they can do a lot of things with those
Uh,
bodies.
they hate to be in water. They
Right.
hate water. They hate rain.
Exactly.
They hate
Yeah.
any. Yeah,
I know.
yeah. They were fairly cooperative considering they were goats in a canoe in a rainstorm and a flood. Could have been
Wow.
worse.
Wow. Yeah. My gosh. And just to even think, even the chickens,
It
you
wasn't
know.
an ark.
Mm.
It was a canoe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and thank God we had that because I don't know what we would have done if we didn't have that canoe. We would
Yeah.
have been carrying them through like 4.5 foot deep water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Well, they might have floated with those stomachs. They could have just like
You know, you think that, but you know what does float? A chicken. I found that out
they do.
when, when
Oh.
we were. The chickens were the last thing the poultry were the last that we went to rescue, and they were up in that coop, which you are now very familiar with.
Yes.
And I got up in there, and Gear was on the outside, and I was handing him the chickens, under the coop one by one, and he was putting them up in trees. And one of them flew off of my hand, and I was like, "Oh no!" And it just was like a duck, just flying around like a duck. I was like, "What? I didn't know that."
Oh wow.
So chickens will float, but I don't think goats do.
Yeah.
They were not
Well.
floating. They didn't. If they could have floated, they would have been because some of them were almost submerged
Yeah.
Wow.
when we got to them.
Wow. That's wild.
It was
Well,
wild.
they could have used some of that gas expulsion for a little propelling. They're good at that. I know people don't know that so much. They're mostly silent. They
Uh-huh.
sneeze a lot, and that's what people.
No, they do a lot of toots.
Yeah.
No, they are they're quite they're quite happy here also,
Yeah.
and they have a lot to say. They still, I'm sure they had a lot to say to
Mm-hmm.
you all too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Um
can be really loud.
yeah. It was raining when the turkeys and the chickens, arrived, but sure enough, they as soon as food was there, of course, they were just fine. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember, when Shahid got back, just covered in mud,
Yeah.
his car and everything. But he was telling me it was an experience gathering them as well. He said it
Oh
was.
yeah.
So
Oh
hold on.
yeah. So the plan was to do it when it was dark
Okay.
because poultry, they're basically paralyzed,
Yeah, they are.
when it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how we ended up not doing it when it was dark. We had a little bit of
I think it
time
was
to.
the crates. The crates took a while to
Oh
put
yeah, we
together.
had to put those
I
kennels
think that
together.
took too long. Yeah. And we also were like, it's raining. It's going to stay dark longer.
That was
We
the
were
other
kind of,
thing. Yeah.
we shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have put those. Well, I just got those crates. I just like picked them up on the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, next time. Well, that there won't be a next time for this. But
Not for that.
wherever I go, depending on
hmm The next time
the next
someone
reparations
offers
payment.
you a bunch of, yeah.
I really do hope there are more reparations payments around. I've been
hmm
I see a lot more Black people really really wanting to connect to land
Yeah.
and farm and just move away from the madness that is and become even more self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for me personally, it's been a very somatic experience. Um,
hmm
it's a way that I've found grounding, like literally, like grounding in a way that I hadn't previously in my life.
hmm
Because our experience tends to create a sort of like head on the swivel effect, and so, well, my experience. And so you're always kind of looking over your shoulder, wondering when you're going to be
hmm
moved out or when something's going to be taken away or whatever. And
Yeah.
so that's the one thing that connecting with the land in the way that I've been able to has really helped. But connecting with the animals as well is there's this kinship that develops where everybody seems to understand like we're all working together.
hmm
Oh yeah, I definitely feel like they become family.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Has that been, as far as saying, basically saying goodbye to them, letting them
hmm
go. I know, of course, it's, just how it's happening, that has to feel like just it has to feel really good. Like, okay, this is the right thing to do, a
Yeah.
reparations payment,
Yeah. That helps.
you know.
That helps a lot for
Uh,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think if anything that has to do. But even thinking or when the goats were gone, how are you feeling after that?
Yeah, it was funny because when Shahid came and got the goats, I actually couldn't be here because I had to take our car to another town to get fixed, and so I missed it. I missed the whole farewell to the goats, and it was just gear here with him, and I didn't know how I was going to feel actually, and I think. I don't know, Shahid and I had talked on the phone a number of times, and y'all had come out here and we met, and I just felt like really good about the situation. I was like, yeah, this feels totally good. These are good people. They're going to a good place. It's a good, you know, situation, and that definitely like reduced the like feelings of grief a lot. And I really was surprised how you know, Gear called me and was like, okay, they're gone. And I didn't feel like sad. I was just like, I felt really fulfilled, maybe is
Mm-hmm.
the word, just like, okay, yeah, good. All right. And there's been a lot of grief in this decision to leave, like that we've been processing over the last year and a half. But yeah, by the time it happened with the goats and in the poultry, like, I really didn't feel sad. I just felt really good about what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I want to thank you again for creating this opportunity and just want to reiterate how fulfilling that is for me as well, and continue to model that in ways and
Mhm.
share the story. It's really important for me that other people hear about things like this happening because in these times, I think people need a little light. We need a little bit of like hope. That some good things can happen to folks, and it doesn't require, the law, and it really just reinforces my hope and belief that we can get through some things. We can transcend this time, and and really have allies that I think have substance. Not this kind of, because that's what I feel like we've become. I feel like I feel like we've made a connection that, even though it hasn't been years, it feels really deep to me. For someone that I've only I've only seen you twice.
Yeah, that's true.
But we've had telephone conversations, and you didn't even follow me on social media till a couple days ago.
I know. I was like, "What's your?" You have
I didn't even know if
Instagram,
you
right?
had. I didn't know you had one. It was like a secret. That's the thing. That's the way it came to me. Like, there's these people who know these people, and I was like, all right, well, here I am. Who are these folks? So,
You could have really checked us out that way. Could have done some online social media stalking. But no, the other thing was too. Yeah, we've only been in person twice, but I felt after we did that crazy poultry wrangling the other day, like I was like, wow, we worked really well together. I told Gear after, when I talked to him later, I was like, I thought it was going to be impossible. When you try to catch chickens during the day, it's a horrible experience. Like, we've done it in the past, it was horrible. We learned our lesson. Never try to catch chickens in the day. I was like, I don't know what we're going to do. Like, he's going to have to stay another night. We're going to have to wait until tomorrow morning. Like, that was all going through my head. But we just did it, and it was fine. And we worked together really well, and we weren't getting frustrated, and we weren't getting impatient, and we just did it. And we got it all done. And we tackled that turkey tom together.
We had to. He was the hardest one. He's smart.
Oh, really?
And of course, he picked up what was going down. Like, oh, okay, I see. Everybody's ending up in these cages.
He's like, I'm getting out of here. He was looking at the fence, like, I'm going to jump over this fence. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I think we may have been 50-50. Maybe he just decided, like, okay, enough. I'm gonna let them think they caught me. But we had to come up with some ways, because Tom was not having it. And he's big, so it's not like
so strong.
Just run up and and so, and they all made it. The trip back, I kept having to check, and that became a thing, because driving from Menard to El Paso, somehow when I got on I-10, every time I stopped for gas, I was seeing the same people. So they realized that there were turkeys, because you could see them.
Yeah.
So they started, like, there was this thing that developed. Like, they wanted to make sure these turkeys got to where they needed to. I was like, they can't get out. They'll be fine. They're not getting ready to fly out of here and up on I-10. But at every gas station, I guess it made sense. We're all running out of gas at the same time and looking for the best price we could find. kept ending up at the same gas station.
Wow.
And then the last stop, this guy walked up and he was like, I want to come visit you at the farm. I was like, yeah.
No,
Cool. Yeah, come to the, but he was a talker, and I was trying to get on the road. I don't think I shared my information with him. I didn't have time. But that even developed, like, they didn't know the whole story, like how it all like worked out. But that kinship happened, just from seeing, and it was Tom that they got to see because he was the last one that we put in.
Yeah.
And, he was doing his thing, letting people know he was back there at the gas station.
Wow.
Because I think they were pretty chill on the ride. But, anytime we stopped, he had to let it be known that he was in this kennel and,
Yeah.
moving.
Not super happy about that.
Yeah. Confused, looking, scowling, turning all red. But so yeah, that was also part of the story. It's like the caravan of, turkey nannies following me.
No, I always and I told Shahid, of course, like when you arrive, let me know so I can meet you there with a camera, just to document it all as well. And so when he pulled back the blanket, I of course it's raining at the time too. So yeah, he was definitely ready to get out.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
those
of them
turkeys.
were.
I wish you'd been here with your camera.
Oh my God.
Filming us.
And I would have filmed.
Quite, yeah, exactly. She would have just filmed.
I would have just filmed.
She wouldn't have been doing any of that other stuff.
I'd be like, I have to capture this.
Yeah, we would have had all of it captured for sure.
Yeah, similar with there was a situation here. The goats. So Roomba is pretty easy to move around, but the two other little ones, there was
Badass is one of them.
Oh my goodness.
She's got a new name.
And it was
the spotted one. She's it's such an interesting thing. It's just routine. Like they just play this game with me. Like, let's see if we get this guy to chase us around the pen.
Yeah.
It was a chase too. It was like a 30-minute chase.
Yeah, that was a long chase.
And I was able to record it. And
I
was going.
So that got captured.
It was
all of it. I was like,
Oh
she's
my
really just gonna film this.
I think I tried. I think I tried for a little bit, and then I was like, "No, I got to get this camera. This is great."
Yeah, it's like it's like a cartoon, actually. Like,
it felt like it.
That's life with
around.
goats. It's like a cartoon
Exactly,
or a sitcom all the time.
Yeah.
But we have chickens in our, which are going to be with the new chickens in Turkey. But we've been raising them in our backyard, which we usually do first. And so even getting them in at night, I call them the uncontrollables because they're like, no. But I usually have a space for them during the daytime, and I usually wait till the sunset. And I'm like, no, you all are waiting till it's almost dark now because it's hard to corral y'all in. So I get that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've when I don't know, I feel when are you guys actually leaving Menard?
Well, we're leaving here on Wednesday, and we'll be gone for a week, and then we'll be back for a few days, and then after that, we're pretty much gone.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna meet again. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But I feel like this has really created a very solid bond between us all. And, we'll continue to share stories. You'll see us. You'll see all the videos. They will keep
I'm
coming.
Looking forward to
I'm
it.
sure.
Oh, yeah. Going through them earlier today, I was like, oh, I can't wait till you all see them because they're they're funny also, but just to see how Shahid interacts with them is something that I've enjoyed, And so yeah, I can't wait to share these with you all.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have their own title, all of your animals.
That's about right.
Their name They're called the
Mhm.
Reparations Ranch.
Yes.
Awesome.
and and they seem to have adjusted well. We have our routines. They get to see a lot of people, and so that was the other thing. Like people are always surprised at how social they are, how good they
Oh
are.
yeah. Yeah.
Even other people who have had goats and milk goats, these goats jump on the milk stand because they have a routine, and
Hmm.
they get in their like little queue. Some of them try to come back. I'm like, hey, you don't have any
Yeah.
more milk. You're just trying
Yes.
to get some more of these treats.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but the fact that I have people out, I have people out a lot, and they know, like they it's showtime. They know what to do. Um, they like it. They like when people
Oh
scratch them, and
yeah.
if they don't want to be bothered, they just kind of like go and hang out under the shelter and watch. You know,
Hmm.
but it's rare because there's always the possibility of some food that comes with the people
Exactly.
visiting. And
Yeah, they
so
know.
they're aware of that. And Roomba, I, you know, she's got her own thing going on. She knows how to work the crowd,
Yeah.
but and she's a bottle baby, so she's a survivor. and,
Hmm.
She
and it
really
seems
is.
like,
She was on the brink of death, man. And she was really on the
Really?
brink of death. Yes. I can't
Wow.
believe she survived, to be honest.
Really? Okay.
she
Yeah.
has a spirit about her that is, you know, resilient is what I
Yeah,
would say,
that's for sure.
and she still gets, well, she's not getting pushed around as much because her new best friend, the dog, has arrived.
Oh yeah. Yeah. See,
And
she's smart. She
yeah,
knows.
she immediately was just like,
That
you and
dog will
I,
protect her.
you
Mm.
and I, we're together. We're
Yeah.
not the same.
But we're together.
We're different from everybody else here for different reasons.
Yeah.
And the dog immediately just like picked up on it, like, oh, okay, you get pushed around. Just stay close to me, and I'll manage
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just like a funny story, just seeing how all of this continues to develop, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, I feel like you and I were probably going to have to write an essay or something about this, because I feel like
That's a good idea.
it's something that people should know about,
It is.
and it's something that people should do, because you just think about
Yeah.
how many opportunities there really are, and the gesture
Mm-hmm.
that, because
Mm-hmm.
it speaks to your recognizing the injustices. And even though, it seems like it's always this, like the people with the least are always willing to give the most.
Yeah. I know that
and
from being a server.
Mm.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
You learn. Um, and so once again, that seems to be the case, and but I think there's more people with less than there are with more. So
Yeah.
it's something that can happen, just this kind of like communal sharing, and
Mm-hmm.
the potential for the kinds of relationships that can be cultivated, around these kinds of things. Because seriously, like I feel really tight, really close to you,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, that chicken situation sealed the deal.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So I really appreciate you. We only have about 5 minutes left. I don't know you know what you have going on, if your family's come back yet, but I
Yeah. I
just
think they're back.
if
I
they're
haven't been interrupted yet, but they're
okay,
back.
okay.
Hmm.
Well, we don't want to hold you any
No,
longer.
but we really appreciate you taking the time to, to share your experience and your story. Yeah, I appreciate you all talking together about it. I do. I really feel like it's important for people to hear and continue to hear, and
Hmm.
hopefully expand the conversation in other
Yeah.
communities. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's important for the white folks to hear because, you know, yeah, you don't have to have a lot. Like you said, you can still do it.
Yeah.
You can still do this without a
Yeah.
whole lot.
Yeah. I've seen people do things like that before, and I've had people do things like that for me. Especially around George Floyd. That was one of those times where it was just like, hold on, what? Like, what's going on? But it was a short-lived experience.
That's when
for
everybody
sure.
learned what reparations is. That's when everybody learned.
Yeah.
That's when it reached a wider audience. So that's not surprising. But
Right.
yeah, it probably wasn't very long-lived, unfortunately.
Exactly. So when this administration came in and decided to try to undo as much as they could in terms of good, that was happening, it feels really special. In this time in particular, I know for me, there's some healing that's happening, and I'm hoping that that's the same for you as you get on the jets, as you're out of here.
Yes.
Don't blame
you. Not at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is thinking about how it must, like as a white person doing this, there has to be a feeling of resolve, or even like, oh no, there's more. There's absolutely more that can be done. But I think that's even an important conversation. Like, the heal. This is a part of healing.
Yeah. And
for sure.
I think it's a step towards changing the narrative, right? Because one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot is like, okay, so people are now empowered to identify in whatever way they want to, right? And people are still identifying as white, right? And I'm like, so what is that though? But what is it? Because we all know it's a social construct, and we can pinpoint like when it started being used. So the attachment to these things seems like part of what we have to overcome, because I often think about that. Like, I don't ask. I probably should ask more. Like, what does it mean to be white? Like, what does I need to hear that from you? Because I know what it means to be not white, right? From my experience. From what I can see.
To be white is to not know, is to not even think about it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
To be white is to not think about what it means to be white.
Okay.
Because you don't have to, because you're privileged. You don't have to think about what it might feel like. And so most people don't.
But they do feel like a certain way when they're not in the majority. Like, that's what I've seen. It's like, oh, you're around all these non-white people and you have all this anxiety. But the reality is you're probably the safest person here, because everybody knows, like, there's hell to pay if a white person gets hurt. But you don't think that way, necessarily. But to not have to think about it, right?
Yeah, I think that's usually the case. And I mean, I have had different experiences because I lived in a country where I was very much a minority by being white. And I was white, but I was poor, which was didn't even exist there, in this country, Mauritius, where I lived. And to be white and poor is a total anomaly. So I'm on the bus because we don't have a car. Never was there another white person on the bus, not once. And I found myself in this situation. And so I kind of know, I still don't know because I'm still white and privileged, but I do know what it's like to not be in the majority. And I also lived in Philadelphia, and I went to a dermatologist one time, not knowing, or not even thinking or caring what color they were, and found myself in the waiting room. And after about 15 minutes, looked around, I was like, oh, I'm the only white person here.
Wow.
The doctor was black. Everyone in the waiting room was black. Everyone working there was black. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, good. Because hunt's a good response as opposed to I'm scared. I don't know what to do.
No, it was good. I was a little bit surprised because I'm from I'm from Texas, and there's not a lot of
Correct.
Black people where I live and where I
Sure
have
isn't.
lived in Texas
Yeah.
before, and
Yeah.
so it was definitely a new experience, but not a scary one.
Oh, good.
But it was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah. Interesting, I'm sure. Well, Logan.
I probably thought the same thing. What is she doing here?
Well, thanks so much for joining us on the show. And yeah, we'll
Thanks
have
for
to
having
talk
me.
again before you leave for
Yeah.
sure. And we'll
Yeah.
stay in touch.
Thanks for coming all this way. It was 7 hours one way, and that's a lot. So thanks for making it all happen too.
No, I had to. The ancestors wouldn't let me not do it.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
me too. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. You be well, Logan. And yes, I'm sure we'll see each other again. Okay.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
All right.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
All right.